How did you find the transition to the NFL? You were expected to dominate, and I'll use the word dominate. You did. How did you find the transition from the college game to the pros?
It was definitely, the first couple of weeks, it was definitely faster. It's definitely something that you have to get used to, obviously, just because, it's a whole other playing field and the speed is different. That's why I had guys like J.A., Jonathan Allen, Ryan, Kerrigan, and them guys, they helped me throughout the season, just mentally and physically.
Now, I want to talk about your coach with you for a minute here, Ron Rivera, if I could. I've known Ron Rivera since the 80s. He was a linebacker on the Bears when I covered them then, and he has now gone on to become one of the most well-respected and successful coaches in the NFL in Carolina, and now after this first season with you there in Washington. And I think most people are aware, but for those who don't, he coached through this entire season without missing a day while undergoing cancer treatments. And he released the wonderful news last week that he is now cancer-free, and that's obviously fabulous. But I just wonder, how would you describe what he is like as a leader and as a person as well as a coach?
Yeah, Coach Rivera, man, he's a dude, and it's something that I got from college. But it's just somebody who's tough and just takes care of who just takes care of their responsibilities, and and still come to practice and coaches with that same energy. It's just a testimony and of just what type of guy and just how high of character he has.
I got a sense of it yesterday. I did an event with him, independent of the show, and he was talking about how he was literally going through radiation therapy and radiation treatments and chemotherapy treatments in the morning, and then going directly to the facility. Was it ever evident to you? Like, could you ever see that a loss of energy in him, or how hard he was struggling to maintain all of that through an ordeal that for most people is almost impossible to function through?
Oh, of course. I mean, you come in and you see him. He drops a little bit of weight, but what you don't see is you don't see change. You don't see change in the way he coaches. You don't see change in how he treats everybody. He's always been the same guy, and that's something that I respect the most about him. I even know myself if I was in that situation. Just me thinking what I would do, and Coach Rivera just does the exact opposite. And that's just a testimony of who he is.
The great Chase Young is with me here, and he actually mentioned on this call that I was on with him that, and maybe as a result of that, because all of you players were aware of what he was going through and how much more vulnerable he was as a result of it, your team actually had the least COVID of any team in the National Football League this year. How would you describe what it was like going through that, being as careful as you all were? What was it like?
It was different. But even being a rookie coming in, this being my first year, I don't know anything else. So it's like everything was going to be new to me regardless. So I mean, I definitely see how it affected my teammates. How just some guys during camp would stay in the hotel and not even see their family, just the whole time of camp. So definitely family-wise and things like that, I feel like that's the biggest way in how it affected our team.
Greeny and the great Chase Young here on ESPN Radio. We come to you live every day from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. A few other things I want to ask you about. You had that episode in the playoffs there where you were saying you were running off the field that day saying, I want to crack at Tom Brady. And when people were saying, hey, look at you, you're talking trash, you said it's quite the opposite. Like, a young kid like you who's been watching Tom Brady play all your life, like, what did it mean to you to be out there on the field with him? And I know that he sent you a signed jersey after the game.
Yeah. It was crazy, Greeny. I just love ball. It's something about me. I love ball, and those types of opportunities, I don't take for granted. Playing against which someone we all know is going to be a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever, if not the best ever. I definitely didn't take that opportunity for granted, and him sending me his jersey definitely meant a lot. And I'm just grateful and blessed.
Two more quick things for you, Chase, and then we'll get to the program that you're a part of here. One of them, Urban Meyer was the man who recruited you to Ohio State University. Obviously, you wound up playing there under Ryan Day as well, but he's on his way to the NFL now. What are your thoughts on Urban Meyer coming to coach in the pros?
I like it. Coach Meyer, one thing you know about Coach Meyer is that he's a winner, and that he hates losing. So I believe, anywhere he goes, he's definitely going to get those guys to win.
And then finally, and this is the most important question of all, tell me the truth. You're an Ohio State Buckeye. In the Big Ten championship game of this year, at some point in the third quarter, and I will just tell you right now, I am a Northwestern alum. At any point during that game, were you nervous? When we were beating you in the third quarter this year, before Trey Sermon ran for whatever it was, 300 yards, at any point during that game, were you nervous that you were going to lose the Big Ten championship game to my beloved Northwestern Wildcats?
To be honest, my initial thought was I was confused.
What does that mean? What were you confused about, Chase?
I was confused how we was down like that. That's how I was confused. Down. And it was, it wasn't and y'all was putting the press on us, and had us, what I bashed against the wall. But we ended up coming out with a win. Thank God.
Yes, not the way I saw it, but yes, I agree with you. You did come out with the win, and
Right.
on you went to the playoff and knocked off Clemson and all the rest of that. It was a great year for Ohio State. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.